Hello, everyone. Welcome to Stable Condition episode Bronyfest.
Good evening, morning.
Good to see you guys
It
again.
is currently 3:09 in the morning.
Yeah, and
we're
right
so
now,
tired.
We are very tired, but we will not let you down. We promise some good stuff out of this. And right now, I'm currently splayed out on the bed, so forgive me. But yeah, we all wanted to just get super comfortable because we've got a long story for you guys.
Well, that's the next episode that has the long stories.
Well,
this
I mean-
one's more of joy before the storm.
Oh, this is pure bliss, but I mean, it is still a part one.
I guess you
Yeah.
could see it that way.
It's a
Yeah.
part one to something else, and honestly,
The calm before the storm, you mean?
pretty much, yeah. And if I could just be serious for a second, I honestly love telling this story because, let's be honest with ourselves, this is a big part of who we are. It really is.
Yeah, you could say that.
Oh,
The
that's the thing.
next one, you're not going to hear me be as joyful.
Yeah,
Remember, that
and-
next one is going to be not for everyone.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
one's
we're gonna
going to
go
be very not safe for work
yeah.
in terms of cursing and things like that.
There will not
There'll be no
filters.
like sexual things, anything like that. It's just cursing and sailor talk.
And
So
suppressed rage. Lots of suppressed rage that has had the chance to build over the course of
and
two
not only
and a
that,
half years.
it's
You'll
a
suppress
chance. It's a chance for us to whenever someone's like, "Oh, can you tell us a story about this certain convention?"
We will direct
Go
them
listen to
these
this
two
episode.
videos. That's two of them, yeah.
Yeah. So
So, anyways, this is the story.
yeah, this is Bronyfest. This started back in July.
March 28th, 2013.
No, I'm talking about when it started for Bronyfest for me.
Oh, yeah. Set us up because I was not.
Yeah,
I
you-
did not know these two bit by then.
Yeah, this is before we knew each other. This happened. Well, this started being conceptualized back in July 2012 in Louisville, Texas, because former co-host Dallas, he introduced me to this one anime shop where I don't know. Should I change her name for this too?
Better safe than sorry.
Yeah, we're changing the names for the people, or for certain people.
He is using air quotes when he says that.
Yeah. He introduced me to Wanda, who...
We're going to go with Wanda.
Yeah, we're going to go with Wanda.
All
That's
right,
what my
Wanda.
grandmother calls her, so
Okay.
I'm used to saying it.
All right, well.
But this is where I first met Wanda in Louisville, Texas, and she ran an anime shop, the only one I knew of besides Anime Pop in Addison, Texas. And needless to say, it was not a very good shop.
Really? I don't. Wait a minute, that's the one that was supposedly haunted, right?
Yeah, it was set in Old Town Louisville, and if you've ever been to Louisville, and you've ever gone to Old Town, it's a very, very old place. The buildings are over 100 years old.
It lives up to its name.
Yeah, it really does. And the thing is, I first went there, I met Wanda. Me and Wanda sort of connected. I understood her cynicalism because at the time I was very cynical myself. So we became friends really fast, and Dallas was talking to her about me quite a while ago. Or, not quite a while ago, but at least
Beforehand.
a month beforehand, telling her how I ran a My Little Pony podcast and all that stuff, and she immediately saw dollar signs in her eyes. So when she met me, she first started talking about starting up a Brony convention, and how she used to be a huge fan of the, well, no, she wasn't a fan of the old My Little Pony dolls, because she would literally draw Nazi insignias on their cutie marks.
You didn't tell me that.
And she would set them on fire and stuff.
What?
Yeah, she's
That's for the
I thought you guys had heard this.
No,
That's
no.
why I never
That being
mentioned
said,
it again.
that being said, let's go ahead and put this out there. Another one of the reasons why this whole thing is one of my favorite stories to tell is because we'll never in 1,000 years get the full story. Every time we tell this, we're gonna learn we're all gonna learn one new thing, and this is my first time hearing anything about that.
Was that with the previous generation?
That was
ponies, or-
Generation 1.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Because she wasn't much older than me. She was in her late 20s to early 30s. I was still in my early 20s, I think. Gosh, that would have been about 4 years ago, so about 22. It's back when I still worked at Walmart and stuff. But she started talking to me about running a Brony convention because she wanted to make money, and that's all she really cared about. Now, I'm going to set up the scene for this run-down building, and
Picture this.
she was a huge cat lover, so she let all these cats that she had adopted stay there. Now, this normally wouldn't be a problem if you change out the litter boxes and stuff.
She didn't.
Yeah, and she also ran a rescue hedgehog thing, the only one in North Texas. There's the only way to get a rescued hedgehog without having to go out and buy a brand new baby one.
Right.
And with the help she had there, needless to say, those poor little hedgehogs did not live very long.
Aww.
So the place, they died of ammonia poisoning because
Wait a
she would never
minute.
clean out the cages.
That's okay. Yeah, I actually remember seeing those hedgehogs in the back room.
I've
Yeah.
actually never even heard of these hedgehogs.
But and as Clayton was saying, or sorry, Dewey was saying
it's
before, the place was legitimately haunted. I would stay there a couple of nights because she would stay there because she was afraid that the bar that was right across the street, they were a very angry bunch.
Yeah, you've only told me this haunted part once, so I'm gonna be paying like extra attention to this. 'Cause
Yeah.
if I remember, what you told me kind of freaked me out.
Yeah, it freaked me out too. Because I would stay there because this group would get very angry. Like one time, they would constantly park in her parking spots for the shop, which she specifically stated that, look, this is for my customers and all that stuff. And they just would not listen at all. And so it got to the point to where she got their cars towed. And that group came over and started threatening a fight. And they're specifically talking about how they were going to kill each and every one of us and all that kind of stuff.
Jesus.
Yeah, a very angry bunch. So I had to deal with that. But
It could have used.
anyways,
probably
that
been
leads into the nights I would stay there. And she had this big room for...
guests.
Yeah, for the people that would pay for a subscription to play video games and stuff there.
Okay, again,
What?
just another timestamp. Like, when is this?
This is around...
You said July?
That was when it first started.
Oh, so
You said-
Um,
If I had a
August,
ballpark like,
September-ish.
yeah, I would say more October-ish.
Oh, okay.
of 2012.
Yeah, of
okay.
2012.
Oh, that's how fitting for the creepy
Yeah.
stuff that happened.
Oh God.
And the place that she used that was there before was an old brothel, basically a whorehouse, and they had a bunch of different pagan like symbols and stuff carved into the window seals. So yeah, they were doing some dark things there. And there's this one kid I used to work with named Nelson.
Oh.
A good-hearted kid, just very naive. Very, very naive.
Wait a minute. Nelson was the one who had to go through this crap?
Yeah, I told you this.
Again, I've only heard it once, a long time ago.
I thought I've told you more times, but
No.
he was making fun of the ghosts that lived there.
Well, that's your
And
first mistake.
And here's the thing: like, you can take me for you can take this with a grain of salt. You can completely believe me. You can say I'm full of crap. But
You saw what you saw.
I saw what I saw, and I heard what I heard. And this was about actually, this thing with Nelson happened later on, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell the story anyways, because he didn't start showing up till after Bronyfest and all that. Because I'm gonna go ahead and complete the story now.
Yeah, we're still building up. This is the time before Bronyfest.
Yeah, basically, no, this is after Bronyfest.
Well, no, but I mean like where we're building up to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he was making fun of these ghosts. And first of all, if you believe in the paranormal, you never do that kind of stuff.
Slowly raise his hand.
Yeah, like, I believe everyone in this room right now, we we've had some kind of experience, or we do believe in that stuff, and we don't mess around with it.
Oh, I'm a very, very firm believer in that. I mean, like JWhoof, you know, like our big like fandom outside of ponies would probably be something along the lines of, say, you know, creepypasta.
Yeah.
And if creepypastas have taught us anything, it's the golden rule of don't go screwing around in things you don't understand.
Exactly. But this kid was making fun of this, and Amanda was planning on moving shops because the landlady. Ah, dang it. Oh well, that's the only slip up I'll have. Wanda took me in the back because we were looking at some stuff she was going to sell in order to make some money to move to this new location because the landlord was absolutely horrible. So we go back there. We're looking like this weird old cabinet thing. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I think you can sell it for this much. It's still in good quality and all that stuff. And I was just giving her my opinion on it. And he follows us back there. And so Amanda turns off the lights as we walk.
I'm sorry.
I know. It's
can you like censor it out or something?
No, I'm not very good at that.
That's funny. Run it by me after this. I might be able to work with it.
But the big thing is that she turned off the lights, and we start walking through this hallway because basically imagine this: it's in a backwards L shape, is a straight corridor. Then to the right is how you get out. We start walking, and Nelson's still in this room, and it's completely pitch black. I don't understand why, until I hear him screaming at the top of his lungs. He darts past us, pushes us both against the wall to get by us. And he runs to the front and is hiding. So naturally, being the curious person I am, I specifically asked him, like, dude, what happened? And he said that he saw two red demonic eyes in a corner. So, yeah. And then, oh yeah, there's this kid, Casey, 16-year-old kid at the time.
We swear this is relative to Pony's adventure.
It will be. I'm just setting up the person that helped me start this convention.
No, I understand completely. This is funny.
But this kid would come in at night and be like, hey, can I just stay the night in the back room with the ghosts? And he would just do that.
Does he have some kind of death wish?
He is very gothic and stuff like that. So.
Oh, one of those types.
He's very, not pun.
Oh. But there's your South Park reference, not pun.
Yeah, we didn't do one in the last episode, so we have to make up for it here. But he took Nelson into the back room where Wanda would make these plushies, the one that Dewey over here has.
I also have one, actually.
Yeah, unfortunately mine never got to me after I gave it to this one person at a convention. I can't even remember that story completely. But basically, took him back there, and they were gone for 2 hours.
Oh, God.
And then, finally, they come out of there, and Nelson comes up to me and he's like, hey, how's it going? I was like, dude, where have you been? He's like, I was in the back room for like 10 minutes. It's like, dude, you've been back there for 2 hours. It's like, no. It's like, look, it was 11 o'clock when you went back there. It's past 1.
AM or PM?
AM.
Jesus.
And Casey had apparently taken him back there to meditate and that kind of stuff. But anyways, that's enough setting up for that shop. But the whole process was, this was my first time ever trying to run something like this. The most I had ever gotten close to running anything convention-wise was running the first meetups in Texas for ACON 2011. So I had a little bit of experience, but not the experience you need to run a convention.
My first ACON ever.
But in Louisville, there's this new, or at least it was new back then, Louisville Theatrical Center. And we were originally planning on hosting it there. Like, Trixie, did you meet Linkara there a couple years ago? Was that you or was that Danny?
Acon or?
No, this was at the Louisville Theatrical Center. It was
That
like
must have
for
been Danny,
No.
'cause he's there.
It must have been Danny or someone
not right.
like that. But by the way, Danny's a good friend of the show. He comes to the Bronyfest, so shout out Danny. And you know most of this as well, so you're in on.
He's
all
probably
this.
going to be listening to this whole episode, smiling and nodding the whole time, like, yeah.
But Yeah, so we were originally planning on going there, and they're like, yeah, we want $10,000 from you guys in order to run this event here. And like, are you kidding? We can probably get that to you, but there'll be a lot of people here. Like, we don't care. We want at least 10,000. So they're like, okay, enough of that. We're not gonna deal with this place, because I also brought up the fact that the only hotel in the area is this run-down hotel called Select Inn.
Oh God, we booked our rooms there.
And
we booked our rooms that piece of junk.
yeah, did you ever stay there?
No, but basically, like, this was back whenever my group, because like this was before I met either of you. Like, you know, we had heard about Bronyfest, and because I had just become a Brony and I had just started my channel, I was super pumped up and everything. It's like, oh my God, this is gonna be our first chance to, you know, experience our people in mass and stuff like that. So we were so super hyped about it, and then we found out that that Bronyfest was gonna be at that theater, and so we went to Louisville like a month before to do a little bit of reconnaissance, quote unquote,
Yeah.
to see, just map it out and everything. It's like, God, where's the nearest hotel around here? Because, before this we had only gone to like, A-Con and A-Fest, so we always thought the rule of thumb was all conventions were in a hotel, which actually every convention I've been to so far has been in a hotel. So,
Yeah, and it makes more sense for that, because then you also get the venue for a discounted rate if you book a certain room block
exactly.
number.
So when we went there and we found the theater, it's like, this is where it's going to be? Oh, man. Well, where's a hotel around here? It's like, hang on. And the only place I could find was that Select Inn right next to the Taco Bueno. Like,
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, God. Like, I remember going in there to book the room, and my God, the aquarium in there was just filthy. It was disgusting. Like, it was just such a worn down, untaken care of, we don't give a crap kind of place. Just so gross and nasty. And I remember booking, like, I booked,
Hesitatingly booked your hotel.
hesitatingly puts it quite nicely. I booked it from that Thursday all the way up to that Sunday. And I remember I think for Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night, the total for the room was about, I want to say, like, $85.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Like, it was about as dirt cheap as the dirt that was probably in the rooms.
Yeah.
It was like a piece of, and I mean, it's technically it's down the street from where we are right now.
No, it's not down the street from us.
Well, I mean, it's in the same general area. We could just drive there for reasons unknown if we really wanted to.
Yeah, but that was the main point I brought up to Wanda.
God.
Because I remember staying in that hotel as a kid. And it was just absolutely god awful. Sorry for all the uhs. I'm trying to remember everything, because it's been a long time, and the convention that we'll be talking about after this is the reason why I've kind of suppressed most of these thoughts. Is because that convention was just so darn bad. But basically, we're sitting and we're talking about this pretty much every day after I get off work. I go up to Louisville every dang day. I get a ride somehow, and on my days off, I would just go up there, spend good 14 hours some days.
14 hours?
Yeah, something like that.
Jesus, man.
Wow.
Yeah, I was really serious about this, and then we were doing our best to get all of our stuff ready, and as it's getting closer, that's when I find out, oh, we're getting Matt Hill, and I feel so bad because I forgot his name. The other guest. He was he worked with Steven Spielberg. Rich Aarons, yeah.
Yeah.
He worked with the team that did Freakazoid Animaniacs and all that stuff. So, living legend for animation. And So we're getting closer, and Dallas is talking with me, and he's like, "What? Well, what am I gonna do?" I was like, "Well, I was gonna have you be my security guy because you were in the military for so many years, and you know all these different combat numbers, if you want to call them combat numbers." But he's like, "Yeah, sure, I can do that." And I will say this: it was probably because of Bronyfest and Animation Celebration that my friendship got really tested with a former co-host of mine, Brunson. If anyone who's
Specifically Brunson?
yeah, like he became really sour towards me because of all the time I was spending on this, to the point to where that first ACOM where after Bronyfest, he actually Board Game was up here, a really good friend of ours.
We love you, Board Game.
Yeah, we love you, Board Game, and they all went out to eat without me. And I contacted Brunson's like, "Hey, dude, what's up? Why didn't you tell me you guys were going to eat? I haven't seen Board Game in over a year. I really want to see him, that kind of stuff, because he's a good friend of mine." He's like, "Oh, well, I guess you probably should have communicated with me more."
Whoa.
And the venom in his voice, it actually caused me to break down and cry at Acon.
Wow, I don't remember this part either.
Because I never told you it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's
That's more for Animation Celebration, but that's how much work I put into these two conventions that you're going to be hearing about.
Yeah.
Like, Dallas was no problem. He completely understood that I've always wanted to do something like this. Brunson, not so much.
Well, see, I like this idea. Like for both of these conventions, I like this idea of like all three of us giving our own personal build-ups, because I mean they're all going to be different. Because I hadn't heard this stuff before.
Yeah,
I want to hear.
it's something I don't really talk about all that much.
Well, I don't blame you, but I mean that's the thing is like I'm going to tell mine, and
Well, that's
I
the
wanna
thing.
hear yours too,
I'm
Trixie.
leading up to
Oh, yeah.
Bronyfest, and then I'm gonna have you guys talk about your leading up to. Then we'll talk about the actual convention.
yeah, again, get comfortable.
Yeah. Sorry for this being so long, but this is several years in the making of actually putting this on the air.
Yeah.
But we're getting closer, and we're getting all these badges printed because Wanda knew these guys from this one little printing company on the internet, and she's known them for so long. They gave her a special discount code that only she knew, where she got 70% off on everything.
70%?
Yeah.
Jesus.
But so we're getting all this ready, and I've told a lot of people this, but I don't think a lot of people really understand when I tell them this. Spoiler: Bronyfest didn't do well enough to where we were even in the green even a tiny bit. We were in the black throughout all of it. Or we were in the red throughout all of it. We never got into the black.
I'd say, for those who don't know, being in the black is a good thing.
Yeah, being in the black means you're making profit. That's how conventions keep going. They somehow get into the black, or they get close enough to the black to where they can start up another year. But this convention, Wanda did not want to put up her credit card for this. And so she didn't tell us this till the week of the convention. So the venue space was not paid for. And she was like, "Well, I'm going to need one of you guys to do it because I'm not going to do my PayPal card on there." So I was like, "Shit. Crap. Dallas can't do it. No one else I know can do it. I might as well talk to my grandmother." Because she understood how much this meant to me, and I feel bad for putting her in this position because she brings this up to me almost every day about the debt and bringing Wanda to justice and all that, to get her money back, because she was promised that all of it would be paid. Because we're still in debt from it, and we will be for several years.
3 years later.
But I told her, like, look, we have no other choice. We have this all set up. We've already paid for the guests, their flights and all that stuff. We can't back out now. So she reluctantly gave me her card. So the whole space was under her name, and it was technically my convention. And that's going to be important for the next convention we talk about.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like, the details we're going to give you, they actually are relevant and important, so pay attention.
Yeah. And even if you don't, I'll give a little crasher course at least about the owning of the convention.
Yeah.
But it was technically under my name, so it was mine. Everything was on my shoulders. So with that, we managed to get the venue and all that stuff, and we're getting ready for the convention to start. And the reason why I mainly wanted to do this, and the reason why I brought up why people I don't think they always understand, is the main reason why I did this was because the North Texas area at that time did not have a Brony convention at all. The closest we had ever gone to was Pecan, which was something Board Game did for our second year, my first year knowing him, of the meetups. And he went out and got all these different badges printed that had Pinkie Pie on them saying Pecan, PonyCon. And we would hand them out to the ones that would come to our meetups. And we ran out so quickly that pretty much those of us who were deeply involved with said meetups, most of us, actually everyone except for me, gave up their Pecan badge to people that were really looking forward to having that.
Do you still have yours?
Somewhere.
Okay,
I don't remember where it's at,
if
but
you
it's
find
somewhere.
it, I want to see it.
But it was such a big deal that someone had reported to security for Acon. And they stopped Board Game, who's giving out all of these. And they take him to a room and say, "Are you trying to start your own convention inside Acon?" And he goes, No, this is just a little thing for our meetups that we have. And they're like, "Oh, okay. We just wanted to make sure, because if you were, we would have to take legal action against you." He's like, "Yeah, trust me, I understand that. This is all free. This is coming out of my own pocket. This is just something for those that come to the meetups to meet other bronies." And with that in mind, that was my whole goal for Bronyfest, was to create a convention for people to go to their first BronyCon, or they're more than likely their first BronyCon, because this was around the time of Las Pegasus, for those who remember.
Yeah, you're right. That was.
I went to Furry Fiesta that year.
February of 2013.
It was 2012. Oh no, it was 2013. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. I went to Furry Fiesta, and a good friend of mine, Chef Sandy, and who runs Nightmare Nights and runs Bronyville with Apple Cider. Shout out to Bronyville podcast. He took me and Peter, who ran Brony Fanfare. We went to Fuzzy's Tacos right down the street, and he showed me all the pictures that Apple Cider was taking of Las Pegasus, because guess which convention was directly after Las Pegasus?
Bronyfest.
Mine. So Chef Sandy looked at me, and I'm sorry, I'm going to cuss here, because this is, from what I remember verbatim, you can't fuck this up. Because at the time, I didn't know this, but him and another friend of mine, Bob Carr, were going to be running a Brony convention, Nightmare Nights. I didn't know about this at the time.
Mm-hmm.
They might have announced it, but I don't think I was paying attention because I was so busy working on all this.
No pressure, right?
Yeah. So that was leading into everything, but my number one goal was to make sure that people were happy and they could make new friends. That was my number one thing, because most of the bronies I had met at the meetup from the year prior, they would constantly tell me, like, I don't have many friends, especially anyone that likes the same show that I do. And so that was my main goal in mind when coming up with Bronyfest, was to make a place for people. It was basically a glorified meetup with two guests. And now, whichever you two want to take over for your time getting up to Bronyfest, because I've taken up 30 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, that's also with, the overall intro too. So don't beat yourself too much.
Oh, don't worry, I got a lot more to talk about.
Oh, don't worry, we all do. We're gonna be here a while, so
I
Trixie,
know.
why don't you go ahead and go?
Alright, well, I guess we'll just start from the beginning. Yeah, this was the first,
The sun was created in the Big Bang.
You're right. Celestia raised it. But anyways, this was the first PonyCon I ever heard of, and I didn't even know that PonyCons were a thing.
This was during the time when no one really knew that you were into ponies, correct?
Right. Like, this is when I pretty much just got into the fandom.
You were quite the closet brony by this point.
Yes.
Okay.
And then, as I was like pretty much coming out of the stable, as you say, I went to Collin Creek Mall.
Oh God!
For those that don't know, Collin Creek Mall is perhaps the most depressing mall in all of Texas.
Well, for us, it's
one,
specifically because Trixie and I have both seen it in its day when it was so alive and well. It was.
You haven't been to Valley View lately, have you?
Never been to Valley View.
It's worse.
You
Oh
should
wow!
go.
Yeah.
Dude.
Anyways, I went there and I had to go to Sprint to pay my phone
I know
bill.
where this is going.
And I had a Celestia tattoo on my hand just because why the heck not? And someone recognized it. Guy by the name, you know this guy, Seth.
That's why this is so funny. Turns out that guy was a dear friend of mine named Seth.
And this was before we even knew each other.
Yeah,
like,
Trixie and I did not know each other by this point. So he's one of my closest friends now. But he met my other close friend before I met him.
Mm-hmm.
This is pure coincidence.
And to think, if you never would have wore that Celestia tattoo, you might not be here.
Yeah.
Well, oh yeah, good point. Because I mean, I'm totally telling the story about it.
Oh, definitely.
The first dialogue exchange you and I had.
That's for later down this podcast. But God.
I'm still sorry, by the way.
And so I was talking to Seth like while he was working. We were talking for quite a while just about ponies and everything, and he mentions. So I mentioned that this is actually this brings you along. I mentioned that at the time one of my favorite ponies was Daring Do, and he's like, "Oh, is that right?" I have a friend who goes by the name of Do the Daring Do on YouTube. I'm like, oh, really now?
Oh, that's nice.
Oh my God!
But like after even like 45 minutes at least, we were just talking until he finally brings up Bronyfest. So I was like, "What is that?" He explains to me that it's a Brony convention, which at the time I had no idea existed. It's like, that's a thing?
Cool.
Oh, cool. So I looked it up that night. I found out everything I needed to know. And
When did you say this was in the timeline?
I mean, it's important. We need to stamp this.
This was a few months. Like it was rather close when I found out it was like.
Well, it's super funny to me because I remember like a couple days after that happened, I remember Seth coming to me saying he met some guy who had a Celestia tattoo, and he was talking to me about how they were talking about ponies and everything. And I actually haven't told you this yet, but when he told me about it, it's like he had you had it on your hand, right? Like,
Yeah.
He was telling me about that. It was like, yeah, this guy came into the Sprint store and he had a Celestia tattoo on his hand. We started talking about ponies. And me being starry-eyed jackass that I am, I was like, whoa, he had a Celestia tattoo on his hand? Yeah, dude, it looked great. Whoa, this guy must be the coolest.
It was a temporary tattoo, guys.
Are you joking?
No, I'm being dead serious. Whoa,
Boy, were you wrong.
Imagine my disappointment when I was seeing it for the first time. Oh. I'm kidding.
God.
Oh, no,
Where's the tattoo?
No, it was talking like, he built you up so much. It's
that's
like,
funny.
whoa, this guy must be the coolest.
Oh, no way.
I just thought you'd like to know that. Anyways, continue.
Jesus. There really wasn't much else to the build-up because, I mean, this was the first con where I went by myself and had my own room. So that was really cool. It was also the first time I stayed at the con. Because normally when I went to A-Con or A-Fest, my grandma lived right down the street from the dart station. So every night I would just take the dart to her house, stay there, wake up, and go back on the dart, and go back to the con. That's how I.
You
that's how
remember
I
what?
normally do it.
You remember what station on the line?
The red line?
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, what station on the red line?
I don't think we need to give out that
Yeah,
information.
it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
I just remember it was.
We
just,
don't want our rabid fans to go after Trixie's
Oh.
grandmother and be like, "What's Trixie like in real life?"
She'll be like.
Is he the coolest?
She'll be like, "Okay,
Is he the coolest guy? I want to see his tattoo.
who the hell is Trixie?"
I just thought. Okay, yeah, good point. Anyways.
And so that's pretty much it for the build-up of Bronyfest for me.
Okay. Well, like, for me, I think the timing actually came pretty well because I had, like, I had just made my my Do the Daring Do account on the November November of 2012, like, several months into me being a brony for the first time, and that's when I decided, oh man, I really want to write music based off of My Little Pony after the, stunning discovery that fans write the songs about ponies.
Who would have thought?
Right, and I was like, oh, I want to get in on that. So I got a couple of songs, I wrote them down, recorded them, and took them to go advertise the Bronyfest and everything. And at the time, I was actually working at Bennigan's. To anybody who remembers Bennigan's.
Oh boy, Bennigan's.
Yeah, so there's your other South Park reference. Bennigan's Grill and Tavern, and I was working there for a while, and I was a busser. I mean, the official title is server assistant, but it's glorified busser. But basically, it was one of those jobs that required you to wear a uniform. I had black dress pants and my really dark forest green Bennigan shirt. But my manager never, every day, you guys know how I have that bucket of all those different pins of cutie marks?
Yeah.
Well, every day for work, just, add a little bit of spice to it. I'd always show up to work every day with a different cutie mark. Like, one day I'd be wearing Twilight Sparkle, another day I'd be wearing Pinkie Pie, or just, whoever I was feeling. And on this particular day, I actually remember I was wearing Shining Armor. And my manager, Chad, which was a really cool dude, really nice guy, he pulled me aside and he finally took notice to that. And he's like, Clayton, what is that on, what's that you're wearing? And he's pointing to my Shining Armor pin. And it's like, oh, it's from a show I like. Well, what show? All right, Chad.
Sons of Anarchy.
I really should have told him, like, Sons of Anarchy or something. But yeah, this was whenever the store was, like, super slow. This was, like, on a Wednesday or something. But, I explained to him, I'm what's known as a brony, grown men and women like My Little Pony, yada, yada, yada. And, he's, like, really, I don't want to say he was perplexed, but he was like, well, I never would have guessed something like that in 100 years. That's kind of weird, but whatever.
To each their own.
Yeah, he was pretty neutral about it. He's like, okay, well, it's interesting. Weird, but interesting. So, yeah.
How dare you?
Basically, just go back to doing your work. So I went home, and I'd say about 2 days later, like, throughout the course of, like, 2 days after that, he had, like, minor complaints about MLP. Because it's one of those things, and it's one of those things where ever since I mentioned it to him, he's starting to become aware and see this stuff for himself. Like, the very next day he tells me, he's like, okay, well, you're starting to have some kind of effect on me because I saw that you had, like, on my way home from work, I saw 2 kids walking down the street, and one of them was wearing a shirt with a white pony that had blue mane and also had, like, DJ sunglasses and everything. It was like, oh, he's wearing a Vinyl Scratch shirt. And he's like, yeah, I guess that's what it is. And you can just feel it just slowly building up. That he's getting more and more agitated. That it's not the fact that it's pony, it's the fact that he can't stop seeing it and running into it. So about 3 days later, it's an afternoon shift for me, and I'm not supposed to come in until like 3 in the afternoon. So I'm like, I'm sleeping in. It's like, yay, I can sleep in. And then I get a call from him at about 1, I think, like 2 hours before I'm supposed to go in. I get a call from him from 1, and he actually woke me up with this. I slept way in, and he woke me up with this call, so I'm like, hello? And he's like, Clayton, you need to get down here right now. What? Get down here now. We need to have a talk. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to get fired. I must have done something. And it's like, what in God's name did I do? So that was a nice, relaxing car ride up there. It was like, oh God, Chad's going to fire me. I don't know what I did. I'm sorry. Whatever I did, man, I'm sorry. I hope we can talk this out. I was like, it's okay. You know, you're not going to be in trouble. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. And so I get in. You know, I open the door. You know, restaurant's pretty dead by this time. I get in there, and before I even get the chance to say hi to anybody, Chad is storming over to me, and he says, what the hell did you do? What do you mean? I'm just there about to wet myself. And he goes, I can't take it anymore, Clayton. Ever since you mentioned this brony thing, I've been seeing it everywhere. I saw the kid in that, you know, that pony, that DJ Pony shirt. I saw, you know, my TV was tuned to the hub this morning and stuff like, random stuff like that. And he just keeps building and building and building until he finally reaches in his back pocket and says, when I went on my lunch break yesterday, I went to 10-star and I found this on the bulletin board. Do you know anything about this? And you know what he's holding? A flyer for Bronyfest. He's like, do you know anything about this? And I just get the biggest smirk on my face and go, know about it? I've already booked my hotel room. So like that's kind of my build up because I became bronies with my friend Seth and Brian, and that was pretty much like that was the thing that we were all like you know, that's the thing we bonded over, and the idea of like, dude, there's a My Little Pony convention coming. This is so cool because I mean this is still in our, you know, quote unquote rookie year, so we're like insanely hyped about this. Not to mention, I saw J-Thor, I saw your Rowdy Rough Bronies podcast at A Fest.
Oh yeah, you did. Our first one.
There was something like, and
it's our first or second one you went to because we had 2.
Yeah, I was the guy who left because of the prank that they pulled on me.
Yeah, and Brandy and them forever crap on you about it because they were in the audience for that.
That's a story for another time. But basically, they just played a mean prank on me. But anyways, so we are like super hyped for Bronyfest. We got our room. We're gonna get our badges. And like, dude, this is gonna be awesome. Bear in mind, before this, we had only been to big conventions like A-Con and A-Fest. So I mean, looking back on it, yeah, we were pretty spoiled. So we were expecting a con, you know, about that size, which obviously, you know, we weren't gonna get. But that's fine. But yeah. Thursday, this was also the first time ever that we had gone to a convention and stayed there on a day 0 the night before, which honestly, looking back on it, is like the smartest decision. Ever since then, I don't go to a convention without day 0. It's super important. But
they didn't even know about day 0 before this.
Exactly. But basically,
to be fair, I know how you feel, Trixie, because before I started convention, I did not realize about day 0.
Wow.
Well, now you know just how useful it is. But
well, I know how useful it is as a person running convention.
There you go. But like, you know, the Thursday night, we all got off at work. Like I clocked out of Bennigan's. Seth got out of Sprint, and I forgot what Brian was doing at the time. But we were all like super pumped. I was like, yes, today's the big day. Well, tonight's the big night. We're gonna go to Bronyfest, and we're gonna have the time of our lives. And so we went to go have like a little celebratory dinner at El Phoenix before heading up here. So, you know, we drive.
Ah, yes, the restaurant at Dewey.
That's my favorite restaurant, man. But anyways,
El Phoenix is pretty good, though. I'll give you that.
Thank you. But anyways, so we're driving up there, and we get to this hotel around, let's say, oh god, I think at this time it was like 10:30 or 11 at night, something like that. And
I might have been asleep by that time.
No, because we saw you in the lobby. Like, it was you and the other Rowdy Rough Bronies, and our first thought was, whoa, they're famous. And then Seth hit it off with Dallas and started talking about League of Legends. But before that,
man, he seems to have a lot of bad first impressions.
Guys, don't do this to me. Not now.
You thought I was cool? Okay.
Anyways, so this is the Lyra Dust story I was saying.
Yeah.
This is what that is. So, like, rewind that just a teeny bit, like before we go in and see the Rowdy Rough Bronies. We're in the parking lot, and we're in the parking lot. You know, we see an average amount of cars parked outside, and with this, like, this was not only was this our first pony convention, this was our first ever fandom specific convention, because, you know, A-Fest is a grab bag of everything.
So is A-Con.
Yeah, I mean, that's
well,
how
A-Con does focus on the anime, or at least they used to.
Well, I mean, you know, if you go there now and stuff like that,
but it was never for, like, one of my favorite animes of all time, the Slayers series. It wasn't specifically about
but I mean, like,
it's an amalgamation of one certain type of animation.
Well, but a convention like Bronyfest was even more specific. So this was our first time getting down to a convention that was super specific about something. So we had no idea what to expect. We were just running in there with the joke of, these are my people, I belong amongst them, and we were really taking that to heart, because this was our first time, aside from, you know, just a minor meetup. Like, my first Brony meetup ever was actually at Strikers Bowling, but that was a fairly small group. But this was our first chance to see Bronies in, like, you know, in bulk. We were so excited about this, and we're walking through the parking lot with all of our stuff, and we're like, are you sure we're in the right place? Like, are you sure that there's like, you know, like, we saw one car that had, like, a teeny tiny vinyl scratch sticker on its back, but I mean, you know, that's not exactly enough of a, you know, driving force. It's like, hey, look at that. That's kind of cool. So I guess, yeah, we're in the right place. It's like, yeah, but are you sure, like, you know, are you sure this is where we belong or something like that?
That could just be a coincidence.
Well, I mean, honestly, it could have been.
Yeah.
It really could have been. But, like, I remember asking, as we were walking with, you know, bags in tow, we're walking up to this front entrance, and we're like, are you sure this is, like, you know, where we belong or something? And as soon, I forget, it was either me or Seth who said that, but as soon as we said that, we looked to this car that just happens to be coming up on our left, and I see on the back window it's a very, very dusty window, but they use that dust to draw a gorgeously detailed picture of Lyra into the dust. We look at that, and I'm smiling ear to ear. I was like, oh, don't worry, I think we're home. We are home. So
that thing that just made you go, oh, this is gonna be good.
This is like, oh, don't worry, we're here. And that's one of my favorite things with that. Is just, that's one of those cool, like, you know, set the stage kind of things. So, you know, we get in, we check in, we're super pumped up from that. You know, we see a couple people talking on the sides and everything. It's like, yeah, dude, they're here. The other bronies are actually here. This is legit. This is really happening. It was so cool. And then we get up there and we see you guys checking in. And I remembered seeing you from A-Fest, and I was like, dude, those guys are famous. I did. I don't.
If only you knew better back then.
Well, again, seeing as how it was that easy to get Dallas and Seth to talk about League of Legends.
Well, it's easy to get Dallas to talk about almost anything.
Well, that's true, but like,
he's passionate about.
Last thing is, like, J-Thor and I, we didn't really like talk a whole lot. I don't even think you and I said a word to each other.
No, not Bronyfest.
No, that's the funny thing about it.
Same here. I didn't talk to you at all.
I was so busy.
Yeah. So basically, we go, and I just remember we spent the rest of that night, you know, just chilling in our room, watching pony videos on the laptop, and eventually we got a good night's sleep. Oh, I also played a couple of songs on my guitar. We were singing along to stuff like, I remember we did This Day Aria, we did Smile, we did Pinky's Brew, you know, just a bunch of random songs.
And also, for those that don't know, in the timeline of My Little Pony episodes, this is about...
right after Season 3.
Yeah, it's right after Season 3.
This is the March of 2013, so Season 3, that ended in February of 2013.
And if I remember correctly, it was the longest hiatus.
Yeah. No, wait a minute. No. I think the gap from Season 4 to Season 5 was long. That was like a year.
Are you sure?
The end of Season 4 was in the May of 2014.
Anyways, continue talking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up.
We're getting off topic. So we basically spent the night. We actually got, you know, decent sleep, and then basically
something you would not experience for a very long time.
I'm not experiencing it right now. But yeah, like, that was one of the only times we got decent sleep, and we woke up bright and early to attack the day, and we were so incredibly psyched. So I think now we have finally brought this full circle. We have set the stage for Bronyfest. So now this is Friday morning, day 1.
and I am so nervous. Oh my god! Like
Excited.
I have always suffered from anxiety problems, and I didn't get a lot of sleep that night. I was just like, oh god.
Were Chef's words ringing in your ear?
Yeah.
Guys, you should have seen what he just did when I asked that. Like, he jerked his head to me with, like, that nervous look, like, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Dude, he put the fear of God in you.
Yeah, because after the biggest disaster in all of pony convention history, and you are literally the next one up, you can't mess up.
No, I know.
Even if you mess up, you have to make it seem like it was a complete success.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, by comparison, Bronyfest was an untouched miracle.
Yeah, we didn't really have a lot of problems at all. A lot of the days kind of run fluid together for me. Like, unfortunately, I can't really tell you guys about, I think it was Saturday night with me, Wanda, the two guests, and their agent, what we did, because that could get them in trouble. It was nothing bad at all.
Do I know?
Actually, no, I can tell this story, because M.A. Larson gets... No, wait, no, I can't. Never mind.
Well, then, hold on.
It just involved alcohol.
Do I know this story?
You probably do. I've told this to a lot of people, but I can't really say it on something. I don't want to hurt Matt or Rich Aaron's career at all.
That makes sense.
No, I mean...
if you ever want to hear it, though, just promise you won't spread it on, like, mass media and stuff like that. And just come find me and I'll tell you the story. But
just don't get it down on recording.
Yeah. But we had a much smaller vendor room this year because we couldn't get the other one because it was on Easter weekend.
Oh, that's right.
And that Sunday we had a church thing, and oh my god.
Well then.
All those, because I'm Christian myself. I'm Christian, or Trixie, you are too, right?
Yeah.
Clayton's agnostic, I believe, correct?
I'm something.
I think you're mostly agnostic.
Yeah, anyways.
But as fellow Christians, we don't see anything wrong with My Little Pony. But these people...
Oh my god, that's right!
They gave my convention goers the weirdest looks. Like, they didn't cause any problems. But they just gave us so many weird looks.
They were judging us very hard with their eyes.
Yeah. And some of the
Looking at
kids
us
were
like,
oh, can we go to this? And the mothers would just pull them away, like, no, we're going home. We're going to go eat lunch at IHOP or something. We're going home.
Don't want to associate with those people. They aren't getting into heaven.
Oh, but I do have to tell this story because I mentioned Rich Aaron's. He worked on Freakazoid, me and Brunson's favorite cartoon done by Steven Spielberg. Like, we absolutely adore it. Our favorite episode is I'll Dr. Mystico. And when we're together, we will more than likely start quoting from that episode.
Freakazoid's a great show, man.
But when we heard that Rich Aaron's was there, we're like, whoa, Brunson, we gotta do it. He's like, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Did either of you ever watch that show or remember much about it?
I don't.
I watched it, but I don't really remember much.
Well, there's an episode with Norm Abram.
Okay.
And he was a carpenter, very famous one.
Okay.
And Freakazoid and Cosgrove go to him at this one convention for nerds. And
this is bad already.
And Freakazoid's like, oh my gosh, we should go get an autograph from them. And Cosgrove's like, no, I'm too scared. In his monotone voice. Mind you, the guy that voices Cosgrove was the old guy in Up. And if you watch the Boondocks, the rich old white man.
He's the
from that.
Onceler?
What?
The rich
From
one.
Boondocks?
Yeah.
I don't think his name's the Onceler.
No, not the Onceler. Like Edward Onceler or something.
Oh yeah, that's him.
Oh my god.
The character's based off his exact looks too.
Wow.
But prior to all this, me and Brunson went to go get. Actually, no. Let me finish the episode thing real quick. And they go up to Norm Abram and go like, "Will you sign our safety glasses?" So me and Brunson went to a hardware shop, got safety glasses to go get Rich Aaron's to sign them, and he looks down, looks up at us, looks down again, is like, "This is the first time I've ever signed safety glasses." And we're like, sorry, we're kind of big nerds for Freakazoid. And he's like, oh, I completely understand. He didn't remember the episode at all. I don't blame him because as an animator,
You make a lot of episodes.
yeah. But he signed it, and I still have those safety goggles, and it makes me so happy.
That's
but
awesome.
Matt Hill,
Oh, God.
I have to sing the praises of Matt Hill real quick. I've met a lot of the voice actors for this show. A lot of them are the nicest people you'll ever meet in your life. Kathy Wesluck, Jen Blake. I don't think I've really gotten to interview that many of them.
Well, it
but,
doesn't even have to be in it. Like
I know,
like
but the ones I've personally dealt with, those are the two that come to mind. I've heard that.
Brenda Critchlow for me.
Yeah, I've heard
that
that everyone is so incredibly nice.
They are.
But Matt Hill takes the cake. Literally for this dealer's room, it's set up in a square formation like the room.
It's literally really. It was.
And he is right there at the front, and people just kept coming up to him. And he was just sitting behind there signing anything you want to, doing Big Ed's voice from Ed, Ed and Eddie, Soren's voice.
I didn't even realize he was Ed.
I know.
Went there.
That was one of the biggest jaw-dropping things. Like, I didn't know that until I was in the line to get my Bronyfest badge. Until I overheard somebody say, I have to get him because I was such a huge Ed, Ed and Eddie fan. I love Big Ed. And it just clicked with me. It was like, oh my God, Soren is Big Ed.
Yeah.
God, I remember taking a picture of my signature of that and showing my brothers, like, what the heck? Like, you met Ed? It's like, bet your ass I did.
Oh, yeah.
But, he was sitting there for so many hours.
Guys.
So many hours there with his agent and Rich Aarons. Poor Rich, he didn't get as many people, but a lot of people would come to him anyways. And thing is, we brought him on as a guest because Wanda saw his IMDb credits for My Little Pony. He did Generation 3 and 3.5.
Whoops.
But it was still great having him there. I think the main reason why she wanted him there is because she claims that she used to be an animator for Sabrina the Teenage Witch animated series. Which I'm inclined to believe her, but at the same time I don't, but that's for another story. But he's just sitting there signing everything, talking to people, actually having legit conversations with all of these different bronies just coming up to him.
Yeah, he and I really hit it off. He was super nice.
One of the purest, like, just people in general. Like, super nice to everyone.
Oh, pure. Like, I thought you said, like, he was a purist. It was like, over
No.
what?
No.
But such a nice guy, and I pray to God he gets to come to more brony conventions again in the future.
I miss him so much.
I do too. I only got to see him that one time and get to bond with him.
Yeah, he like I do have a bit of an unfair advantage. I got to see him at a second convention. I saw him at Brony Fan Fair, but that's a story for our part 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, like just going off of my experiences from Brony Fest. Yeah, Matt. He was the first of. I'm very blessed to say quite a few of the voice actors on the show that I've met, and he is no doubt in my top 3 of like nicest, sweetest people I've met in this show. Like he was such a great first one to start with because I was already a big Soren fan. Like I love the Wonderbolts. I love Soren. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be awesome. They got Soren. I mean, granted, he only says like 5 lines in the show, but I don't care.
At that time, he did.
Yeah, and that's like now in season 4 and season 5, and hopefully in season 6. You know, he's gonna have more speaking lines for anytime he gets speaking lines, I'm like, yes, they're showing Matt some love. Like I can't say anything but good things about this guy. I love him to death.
Yeah, he is just one of the kindest people you'll ever meet. But
anyways.
the end of that Friday, a friend of the podcast, Jordan, he goes to pretty much all the meetups and stuff. He had told me that by that first day, he literally learned every single person's name.
And that's a good point I want to get to whenever you finished up with that.
Yeah, but he learned every brony's name there, hung out with them, talked with them. And, oh yeah, this was the first time I ever met Hobbs, too, another friend of the podcast. He came to Bronyfest.
I thought you knew Hobbs before that.
Yeah, but this is the first time I got to meet him in person.
Okay.
Wow.
I was like, you didn't meet Hobbs at
Like, he gave me, because he rarely sketches out stuff and gives it to people. He drew me a rarity from, it says Bronyfest 13, and I have it framed in my room.
As well you should.
He said that he does not do that for a lot of people. I'm like one of the 5 people he's done that for.
It's like the Soren picture I have drawn by Rich Aarons.
Yeah.
The one that doesn't have the wings.
He forgot to draw the wings on him. It took me over a year to see that. I was like, oh my god.
We just recently found this, like, dude, your Soren picture from Rich Aaron? Yeah, I love it. It doesn't have wings.
But yeah, that's framed on my wall too. So. That's
But
kinda cool.
he had met every Brony's name there. He hung out with all of them. Because, mind you, at the end of this, there was maybe less than 500 people that showed up.
Compared to, compared to like Akon and A-Fest, say, 20,000?
Plus.
20 plus K?
Yeah. Like,
Quite the jump, huh?
Well, that's the thing is, like I've said several times already, those were the only by this point, those were the only kind of conventions that I knew. That's
Right.
all I had known.
Same here.
And I just, like, I ran off...
to be fair, same here, too.
Well, I ran off the naive assumption that that's just how all conventions were. Like, all nerd conventions were that big, and, well, I would come straight out and say it. I was spoiled by that. Because I remember, like, on Friday night of Bronyfest, I remember, like, the last events were closing down at, like, 7 p.m. And I was just sitting there, like, so disappointed, like, what? Really? This can't be for real. I remember I was like this close to going back to my room, so defeated by that. But I stuck around, hung out because I saw that people, they didn't give a crap. They stayed down in the halls and just mingled and hung out. And I was like, no, this is what conventions are about.
Yeah, that's exactly what conventions are about. Because I've been going to A-Con.
Well, that's what Bronyfest taught me.
I've been going to A-Con since the summer of 2003. It's 2016. You can do the math. I used to only go for panels. And then there was a time where I became kind of antisocial. I'd go off for my friends because Dallas and Brunson, they'd always be like, oh yeah, we're definitely going, and then they'd have to cancel. And usually they stay home playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff like that.
Yeah.
Trying to beat my decks. But I would just go there for the dealer's room, and I would just feel so empty. And I'd spend like I've only spent $1,000 at one con before, and that was at A-Con 2010, I believe.
Jesus.
No, it was 20. Yeah, it was 2010 because it was right before the Brony stuff. And I went there to buy a bunch of Xenosaga stuff because it's one of my favorite trilogies besides the second one. But I absolutely love it, and my favorite character from it is Cosmos, and that was the best place I could find Cosmos figurines and stuff like that. I was also a huge fan of Toho and stuff like that for people who know the Japanese bullet hell game.
Yeah, anyways.
But I would always feel so empty. And there's only been one time I'd ever left A-Con early, and this has nothing to do with it, but I feel his memory deserves to be shared on here because I miss him dearly. My good friend Andrew, he had moved away to Kansas about our sophomore year, and he went on a class trip with his Spanish club, and they're down in Mexico. They all got to choose nicknames from their favorite Spanish word. Do you know what his was?
I have several guesses, but go ahead.
If I think I pronounced this correctly, Baño.
Bathroom? His name was Bathroom?
That's what he always called himself.
It's
Banos.
Banos.
And
Huh?
Banos.
like you would know.
No, it's Bon. I know there's gonna be extreme irony to this, but it's actually Baño. Like, Puedo ir al baño means where's the restroom? No, that means can I go to the restroom? Excuse me.
But he's on the. But I've known him since middle school, and he's the one that helped me get into Yu-Gi-Oh. He loved Alien and all that stuff. He was constantly drawing. His artwork wasn't the best, but damn it, he fucking loved it. I'm sorry. I miss this guy so much because he was down there and they went swimming and there was no lifeguard and they didn't bother to tell them that there was a swell. So the teacher and about 10 of the students got pulled into the ocean.
Jeez.
And there were search parties. They didn't find Andrew until 2 days later. And he was dead. And I had left Acon that Saturday as soon as I got the news. I just stayed home by the phone to hear about it. And my grandma was like, "Are you going to be okay?" I was like, he's got to be okay because I just bought this Earth deck from Yu-Gi-Oh! And I have to face him with it. And then I got that call on Monday and absolutely destroyed me. And my buddy Matt, he's into My Little Pony too. A little too much in my opinion, but I love the bastard to death. I'm sorry I'm cussing right now, but this is coming straight from the heart. And I know Andrew would have loved My Little Pony as well because he was that kind of guy. But Matt was about to go to the Philippines right after that because that's where his family's from.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm going to apologize because I know this has nothing to do with Pony. But he stayed that whole convention. At the time, I was ticked. It's because I was like, why aren't you at home waiting for a call on your best friend? Because he knew him longer than me. But then I realized that he was just trying to escape the pain.
Right.
And then he was gone for 2 months in the Philippines. Missed Andrew's funeral and all that. I was one of the pallbearers. But, yeah, that's the only time the first time I ever left a convention early. The second time was A-Fest last year just because I wasn't having that much fun because of my rooming situation, but that has no place on here.
That's for completely
completely different reason.
Different
I'm not going to
reasons.
name the name because I know it'll somehow get back to them. But,
Wait. I know them, right?
yes, you do.
Okay.
You know them very well. John Cena.
Oh.
That meme, which is completely dead to me.
Okay.
I remember going with you to your room during that situation, and it wasn't pretty.
Anyways.
Yeah. But what I was talking about was
The 2 times you.
it was before then. I was getting to
Matt.
something. Oh yeah, I was spoiled by big conventions too because I'd only been to Acon. That was my only convention I'd ever been to, besides A-Fest once before then, and that was a lot of fun. But it was also a big convention as well. So running convention was my first time experiencing a small one. And it made me realize how much I love the smaller conventions compared to the giant one. And this is why I'll never go to San Diego Comic-Con.
I have no desire to either.
Same here.
Honestly, for the longest time, I had no desire to go to Bronycon, but we're going to that this year.
Bet your ass we are.
But the smaller cons is where you make the most friends. And I think Babs Con is the perfect size for this right now.
Mm-hmm.
You get to meet the most people. You get to learn about them. They're not just another face in the crowd. But we only had one major problem.
Is it?
I can't remember what we called him, but I'm just going to refer to him as S.
I think I know who you're talking about.
And I'm going to tell you this straight up. He brought a pony fursuit, which I have nothing against fursuiters.
Oh, was it by chance Blue?
Yes,
I
you
know
already know
exactly
this.
who you're talking.
You knew
about.
as soon as I said S.
I was about to say. I just wanted that.
I know, but we were doing opening ceremonies on Friday,
Mm-hmm.
and general rule of thumb, especially when you're our head of vendor, because he was our head of vendor, because we had to choose someone, and he was genuinely interested in it. He wanted to learn and all that, but he was a part of con staff. But when that's happening, only convention heads and those that are super high up are allowed on stage at opening ceremonies. That's how it always goes. Because we know exactly what to say to make everything presentable and not to give anything weird. So I'm giving an opening speech and that kind of stuff, and we're running into like the 30-minute mark. S decides to jump up there with his fursuit and start giving people hugs. And mind you, Dallas is up there with me, because he's put in not nearly as much work as I have, but he's earned his right to be up there. My head of security can't really do anything without causing a scene.
Yeah.
That was the first problem with this guy. Second problem was he had his own booth at the convention to sell his stuff.
What was he selling again?
I'm about to get to that.
Oh.
First of all, he didn't have a Texas tax ID. Huge no-no. Huge no-no. You can get in a lot of trouble. But his merchandise was nothing handmade like he originally told us it would be. He went to Hobby Lobbies and different Walmarts to buy those different My Little Pony merch.
Oh, he was
the
price
comics.
gouging.
Yes. Like those My Little Pony cups, they're about 89 cents at Walmart. There's a Walmart not very far away from where we were.
You mean here?
Yeah. $3 for that one cup.
Yeah, that's price gouging like crazy.
For a My Little Pony comic, which was about, at the time, I think, $5?
Let me guess.
15.
He's tripling the price for everything?
Pretty much.
Jesus, that's ridiculous. It's a cup.
And then, during that day, I wasn't paying attention, because this is on Friday, or Saturday this is happening. I eventually hear on Sunday that he went up in this fursuit and hugged an 11-year-old girl without her permission.
Oh, goody.
And the mother was livid,
Yeah.
to say the least. And the little girl was creeped out, to say the least. It is the only time I've truly had to talk to someone on any convention I've ever worked at. Like, take them outside, basically load the shotgun to shoot Old Yeller style. And Dallas is with me, so I have a shoulder to lean on to really get that strength to do this. We sit down, he's like, oh no, I messed up then. I was like, yeah, you messed up, buddy. And he's like, I didn't mean anything bad, but I was like, I don't care. You don't do that, especially at my convention where my reputation is at stake. I've done a lot of work to have my reputation where it is right now. And this convention will not be soiled by this. So, you are going to kindly step down from your position. I will allow you to gather your things you have till the end of the day, and then you get your stuff out of here. So he was like, okay, I understand there's no hard feelings. So,
Yeah, there was.
well, I'm about to tell that story real quick. I don't think you were there for that, but I think
No.
I've told you.
I was distracted by ponies.
But, actually, no, I'll save that for the next part, because that ties into the first year of Nightmare Nights.
Yeah.
But he got his stuff, left. We apologized to the mother. She's like, oh, it's okay. You took care of it. Thank you for that. She got a free vending table for the next year for Bronyfest 2. By the way, Bronyfest 2 was canceled.
You'll see.
Yeah, you'll see. So that was our only major problem. It was from one person. Which I have to say, for a first year convention, it's a great success.
That's actually legitimately impressive.
Yeah, but
So, yeah,
real
let's
quick,
look-
you go ahead and tell your times at the convention, because I know practically zero about what Trixie's time was there.
Okay, like yeah, let's focus on like the like everything that was like super good with it, and like bouncing off of what you were starting with on that is like the thing I will always be eternally grateful to Bronyfest for was the fact that it taught me the thing that here I am 3 years later, and I carry it over to every convention I go to is convention intimacy. Like that is the most underrated thing in all of conventions to me personally. Is I don't blame Jordan at all. I knew like every other person by Saturday, and it was just a great feeling. Like it was just so cool seeing these same people. It was like, oh, it's great to see you again. What panels did you go to? I just went to this. And it's like, oh man, I just went to that too. These big conventions like A-Con and A-Fest, they're too large to really get that. And not to mention, again, it's a fandom-specific convention, so you have a lot more in common. You've got that unspoken bond. And we really got that by just the greatest amount possible with Bronyfest, and I thought that was so cool. So, I mean, yeah, that's one of the biggest things about it that I'll always treasure. But to completely, squash the seriousness of that, I think I should probably tell the story about how Trixie and I met.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Just making sure you're still with us, buddy.
A little bit.
Well, you still
Oh,
got...
we still got so much more.
Buckle up. So, yeah.
Quite a feat.
Hey, you're going to look back on this and be like, hey, we did good. But anyways, this was the first time, I mean, and again, Trixie here is, I do consider him one of my absolute closest friends right now. I love him to death.
What about me?
Getting to that too, you big baby.
Gosh, oh.
But this was how, I guess he's right about how I don't have good first impressions of people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You
But-
thought I was awesome. That's bad.
Anyways, so understand that this was whenever I had just got done making this do the daring do person, like this persona that I go by, and deciding, hey, I want to make music. So that's whenever I was starting to try, this was my first chance, I had content to work with, I had 4 songs to show others, like, hey, here's what I'm working on, here's what I can do. And this was my first time ever to advertise content that I had made in front of people, in the flesh. I mean, before that,
Without an iPad camera.
well, in the flesh. I mean, I talked to people online, like, hey, go check out my channel, tell me what you think. But this was my first time ever doing it in the flesh, and I was super excited about that. I had maybe 15 subscribers by this point. Like a very, very low number, which, okay, that's fine. But one thing I can pride myself on is I have gotten a lot better. 3 years later, I've gotten a hell of a lot better at advertising stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, and do the daring do. Anyways, basically, this was not only the first time that I, talked to Trixie, this was my first time ever advertising to someone face to face. Here's how it went.
Oh, jeez.
So, we were waiting in the line to get our badges, and this is Friday morning, and this is I got up bright and early. This is the first thing I did because I'm so super stoked to have fun at this convention, do all things pony, and advertise my stuff and see how that goes, which on the whole it actually went really, really well. But in this one instance, not so much. Again, here we are 3 years later. Trixie, I'm sorry.
Very sorry.
I'm sorry. But basically, he was you were 3 people ahead of me in line? I think
we were right next
that's
to
right.
each
No,
other.
that's right. You were the next person in line. He was in front of me. And again, I promise I'm not this terrible with advertising now.
Yeah.
But
I've
again,
made sure of that.
yeah, Jay Doris definitely helped me out with that. But I'm getting ready. Okay, I'm gonna get do the daring do on my badge. I'm going to say that name at least 100 times this weekend. So why not start off now?
All right.
So basically,
Sorry, I love this story.
I know. I hate this. I hate the fact I love telling it, but Trixie is obviously his favorite pony's Trixie, but he's also a big Daring Do fan. Are you still a Daring Do fan?
She's way down.
But at the
Recently,
time, his favorite ponies were Trixie and Daring Do.
Not even Trixie, honestly.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we gotta have a talk later. Okay.
Go.
Anyways.
Am I off the condition? Am I a stable condition again?
Sorry, but we have to take you back outside.
Oh man.
Auditions
damn.
for Trixie will be next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Anyways, so I'm looking ahead, just killing time in line, going over, okay, I'm going to play this song for people, I'm going to play this song and this song. And then I notice the guy in front of me pulls out his phone and he's looking through stuff. And what background, refresh my memory, Trixie, what background did you have at this point?
I think it was a Daring Do background.
He had a
actually.
Daring Do wallpaper on his phone. And I see this as, this is your time. This is your time to strike. So me being the absolute genius that I am, the first words that get blurted out of my mouth, I tapped you on the arm and went, "Excuse me, I see you like Daring Do." And he turns around And what did you do out there? You're just like, yeah, I mean, I guess so. And it's like, well, I just so happen to go by the name Do the Daring Do. In fact, here's my YouTube. Why don't you check me? I basically pulled a subscribe me.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. At that time, I've heard of you.
I know, and that is what makes that even better. That like, by the grace of God, he actually had at least heard the name before this. Thank you, Seth. I love you.
Oh.
Like I tried to show you. I remember, like, I tried to show you some. Oh my God! I think I know what I did.
What did you do?
Okay, like tell me if this sounds familiar, because I remember I said I put on the "excuse me" face, but I did something, like I made something to show you something. I think what we did was you pulled up YouTube on your phone, and I directed you to my channel on your phone. I think I did.
Probably did.
That does sound like something I would have done, but just everyone's minding their own business and then just, excuse me, I see you like Daring Do.
Oh boy, that's the first step.
Hi, I'm Clayton.
Wow.
But yeah, again, I know I say this all the time, Trixie.
Oh, dear.
Here's the good news. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, and I have learned. Can you find it in your heart to possibly forgive me? I gave you a good laugh. Shut up.
A few years down the line, yeah.
But so that was one of the first things. Oh, did I tell you about the Donut Joe story? Like immediately, like literally seconds after I got out of line to get the badge. Did you see the Donut Joe cosplayer walking around?
I did.
I don't remember.
Yeah, well, he, like, I got his picture, like, oh, dude, I love your Donut Joe. Can I take your picture? Like, yeah, sure. And it's like, thank you for that. And as I said it, I'm getting ready to walk away. It's like, you guys were really loud last night. And we're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Well, what did you hear? We just heard you playing a bunch of pony songs and stuff for your roommates and everything. It's like, really? Well, we're staying, I think we were, like, room 20, like, I think we were in room 220, like the ass end of the second floor. And I remember it was like, oh my, well, we're in room 220. What room were you in? 221. Oh my God, I am so sorry. And I just freaked out like this. Like, I panicked and I was like, oh, dude, don't get us for a noise complaint. I'm a musician, man. I can't do that. I ain't going to jail.
I ain't going to space jail.
But no, he was super cool. Turns out he actually enjoyed it. Like, he wanted to hear more from us. It's just like, hey, you guys were really loud last night. It's like,
wow.
I'm sorry, we were super excited for our first pony convention. So yeah, I almost pissed off Donut Joe.
That's pretty awesome, actually.
I think it's funny that I never told you guys that. So there's that. Do you remember the Doctor Who's? I forget his name. I'm so sorry. Indy Abel. I haven't spoken to him in at least a year, but Indy Abel was a brony rapper who cosplayed as Doctor Who's and did freestyle for us. That was interesting.
I don't know him.
If I dug deep into my archives, I could actually find the video of him rapping for us.
Cool.
And he was really good and everything. And just remember, like, he was so quiet. Like, you couldn't hear a damn thing he was saying. That was like, not that bad, but like, you guys know the song Pony Swag, right?
Yeah.
Well, we got the instrumental version for that for him to rap along to, and he had great flow, super good flow. He good improv, good freestyle and everything. It's just that was the big complaint. He needed to enunciate more, and he was super quiet. It's like levels up here, like, all right, let's get it. Come on, go. Hello, everybody. Like, you can, like, I have the video of it. You can hear him, but barely. Like, you can't make out anything. You can make out, hello, every pony. That's it. Everything else is muddy and cluttered. But it was still good. And I'm actually going to mention Indy Abel again a little later on in this.
Trixie, do you have any real stories? Or?
I mean, after that amazing introduction between us.
Excuse me.
Hello!
Hello! Well, there was. I I just remember in the dealer, the whatever the dealer's room, I guess.
Yeah, it was just the dealer's room.
Yeah. There was someone set up Fighting Is Magic there.
Oh,
and that was the first time I ever got to play that game, and I did pretty well actually. And it took the guy who set up the booth to actually beat me.
You know what's
Rarity
funny?
is just OP, man.
You know what's funny?
That's my girl.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
You know what's funny about that? I might have actually been over your shoulder, videotaping somebody playing Fighting Is Magic.
I remember someone in a white tuxedo cosplaying as Vinyl Scratch.
Yeah, that wasn't me. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
I know that.
Don't worry, that wasn't me.
I played against him a couple times, and yeah, he was really cool. I forget his name, unfortunately, but
Yeah. You guys remember, like, I know, I won't say his name because, you know, due to some stuff, we don't have the highest opinion of him. But you remember, the game show guy?
Yeah.
oh him.
That was the second problem, but I'm not mentioning that.
Okay. But at the time, the games he made were, they were really fun. Like, did you go to any of them?
Yeah, actually. I went to his.
Remember Ponyville Derby, which totally wasn't Wheel of Fortune?
I think I actually participated in the Jeopardy for a little bit.
Really? Because I
Yeah.
remember Jordan was in Jeopardy and he absolutely destroyed. Like, he wrecked everywhere. Were you one of them? We're gonna have to go check. We're gonna have to go check the archives because you gotta understand this was so far back.
That,
Hold on. This was so far back
Yeah.
that these pictures that I have saved on my from Bronyfest are on the desktop of mine that crashed 3 years ago.
Jeez.
Like, I'm pretty sure the files are actually still okay.
Yeah.
I will be devastated if they're not, because those are the only like Bronyfest photos I have and video too. But you know, we'll have to go back and check this stuff. It's like, huh?
Cause I remember going to his panel and he was just like pick a card, and I was just like okay, well I don't know what's happening, but pick one. I got a jack, and they're like, all right, you're in third place right now. I was like, wait, what? For what?
Damn, you're good at this.
and they're just like, all right, these are the 3 winners. I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
I dragged myself into that.
No, that's what it was. It was a different game every day. Like Friday was Ponyville Derby, which is like Wheel of Fortune. Saturday was Jeopardy, and Sunday was Knockout, if you remember that, which was done like it was like reverse Family Feud.
I participated in that.
Yeah,
too.
I did too. Our team, we were the ones who won. Do you remember the team with the name Totally Not Changelings?
Yep.
That was me.
Oh my god.
And guess who's the incredible genius who came up with that name?
Seth?
No, it was me. I don't think Seth. Seth didn't. Seth was usually off doing his own thing for the most part, and Brian, bless his heart, stayed up in the room playing League of Legends.
Well then.
Yeah, he has this interesting little habit of, you know, going to conventions and staying in the room to play games. I love you, Brian. I just think that's dumb. Anyways,
oh man, just meeting Matt Hill, going back to Matt Hill again. How unfortunate.
Darn.
It was just so awesome to me. I got a print of his, and
yeah, same.
and he signed it, and he's just like, "Hello" on his thing. He was doing the voice of Ed as he was signing, and I'm just like freaking out in my head, like, "Oh my god, this is Ed."
I got him to shout, "My pie!" as Soren.
Oh,
That was so great.
but like one of the best parts, as he was like signing it, he wrote. No. I showed him a picture of a Scootaloo cosplayer that was there.
I saw her, like, she actually had the scooter, right?
Yeah.
She was adorable.
And like he's like, whoa, and he's just like, pet the chicken, and he wrote that on my my picture.
Dude, when we get back to our houses, you gotta show me that.
Oh, it was great. And then
Oh my god,
I don't know
that's
how,
fantastic.
but I do remember a picture. I don't know if I took it or not, but I just saw a picture later on of Matt Hill petting that Scootaloo cosplayer.
That is awesome. I didn't know that.
So
I
cool.
did not know that.
Pet the chicken.
Pet the chicken. Pet the chicken. Oh my god, dude. That is
That's
fantastic.
amazing.
Yeah.
Matt Hill is just, God,
You guys are gonna have to forgive us. He's one of those.
him again.
He's one of those names we will not shut up about.
I've only met him once, and I want to see him more.
He is super amazing. Let's see what else.
But like this Conan, that like you said, like this is a completely different convention that I was used to. But like,
in a way, it kind of knocked you flat on your ass.
Even then, because like, even then, I was like kind of in my shell. Like I didn't really. I mean, I met a lot of people there and had a lot of fun, made some new friends, but I didn't stay out late. Like, that was probably the last con where I went to bed around midnight.
Yeah, that's the way we are now. Like,
that's unheard of.
That is. I love you, man, but that's pathetic.
That's ungodly.
By
pathetic.
our standards, that's pathetic.
And well, I mean, I had no one else to room with.
No, man, I get
like,
you. It's just funny.
And part 2 is when I started staying up late.
Yeah,
with you guys.
Don't worry, we will get to that. We are actually running on. Oh my god.
An hour and 30 minutes. Or so.
Hey.
And
hope you guys are comfortable because we aren't even close to done.
Excuse me.
Nah, you're good. And yeah, Jthor went to the bathroom. He told me to stall.
And I actually have with me right now my my Twilight plushie that I got from that convention.
She's so cute.
Like this plushie means a lot to me. It's my first pony plushie.
Can I see it real quick?
Yeah, had it for 3 years
She's
now.
so soft, it's so cute.
And
I wish you guys could see it. It's adorable.
And what's interesting about it is that her cutie mark has 6 stars on it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Instead of the.
Thanks for telling them. Now I'm embarrassed in front of the internet.
He slapped me on the leg. That's assault.
But yeah, like I just love this plushie. I'm just not going anywhere anytime soon. And, yeah.
I know where it's going. Anarchy.
No.
Damn it! I was gonna make that joke. Damn it. So.
Oh man, just like.
Actually, no. There is one other problem. It was a very small problem.
But one.
Danny will probably remember this very
Going
well.
Back to the problem. Yeah.
Danny, are you still with us?
Danny, speak to me.
Danny, jump up and down and snap your fingers twice, and then say "Mary had a little lamb" 3 times in Latin.
He's not doing it. I think he's dead.
Guys, end the podcast. No.
Alright, tell the story.
But
Anyways.
one guy I forgot to mention that was a part of the first Bronyfest. We call him Schnitzel Nazi because of Key and Peele sketch.
Wait a minute, I might know this guy.
You do. You met him several times. He had the Jewfro and everything. Really nice guy, but he was like, "Oh yeah, I've always wanted to DJ and stuff, and I'm not really into My Little Pony, but I definitely I want to try this." I was like, "Okay, as long as you play pony music, I'm good." I was like, "Okay, man, that's perfectly fine." And Dane was on our AV department and all that. So Saturday night comes around. There's a little patio area outside the back of the convention, and we decided to set up there. Well, I start hearing people coming inside, and they're like, "Man, that guy's not even playing pony music. What's up with that?" So I get instantly angry. I'm like, "What the hell is going on?" I go outside, and I see that he's playing just normal rave music, and he's having a good time, but everyone else is just like, Where's the pony music, man? It's a pony con."
Yeah, and I mean, that's not an unreasonable demand. It's really not.
I know. I pulled Schnitzel aside. I was like, "What the hell are you doing?" He's like, "No, man, they're all jamming out." I was like, "No, they're not. You put on Brony music right now." So I leave for about 5 minutes. I come back out there. It's still playing it. I pulled Dane over. I was like, "Look, you're in charge of this now. Put on some pony music for my attendees." They were taken care of, and everyone had a good time after that.
He did, and I remember, I can't believe I'm saying this, but, well, that's the thing is, like, I was off doing something else. I didn't come to the rave until, like, while the whole Schnitzel Nazi thing was going on. I showed up, after Dan had taken over.
Yeah.
So, everything just seemed fine to me. Like, I didn't know there was a problem. But I remember... I distinctly remember being like one of 2 or 3 people who totally spearheaded everything that we did as far as the dancing goes. Like, we released our inner white boy at the club dancing.
Well, of course.
Oh, God.
Hey, it was awesome. Like that was one. It was small as hell. It was smaller than this room we're in.
Yeah.
But it was like one of the funnest raves I've ever been to. Not because I was leading it, but just because once again there's that intimacy, and very rarely do like they play songs at a rave. It's like I actually go like, oh my god, dude, I know this song.
Yeah.
I know this song. Like this one, when Danny played them, I knew.
Each one.
I knew like 95% of the songs. Like he played "Flutter Wonder" by Pinkie Pie Swear, which I love that song. He played some Archie V. I love Archie. He played some Simgratina. He played this. He played that. And I was like, see, this is what we want. And this is awesome. And also, nothing beats Seth with the derpy eye. Seth had this pair of like we you know those 3D.
Oh, those glasses. Yeah, I remember when he did that.
Yeah, he had those. He had like these 3D movie glasses that he covered the eyes with derpy eyes, and he couldn't see a damn thing in those. So I still have that picture of him flailing there like derp 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 derp. He can't like. You think I'm dancing like a white boy? You should see him.
Jesus. I've seen your dances.
But I think that's pretty much. I think we've gone on for a long time because the next episode might kill us.
Well, that's the funny thing about it is we could keep going and going and going with this. So, do you want to just like say some closing thoughts about it real quick,
I'll let you guys start.
Trixie?
Sawdite.
That was a good con.
Yeah.
No. You're gonna do that thing. When I was in like first grade, every day we'd have writing assignments. They'd ask like a random question, like, what is your favorite food? What is your favorite sport? You know, it was just something that we had to write 3 sentences down.
Right.
We were always instructed to write 3 sentences down, to get writing exercises. And me being the lazy ass that I was, I continued. No matter what it was, I had the same formula every time. Like, ask me a random one. Like,
what's your favorite food?
My favorite food is pizza. I like it. It is good. Give me another one.
What is your favorite sport?
My favorite sport is football. I like it. It is good.
Okay.
Every single one of them. So that's what you're doing with this. My favorite convention was Bronyfest. I like it. It was good. But no, in all seriousness.
Oh, like, it was really just like eye-opening for me, and how compared to like A-Con and A-Fest, how the size differences. Yet I've had a lot more fun in the smaller convention rather than the much bigger one, and this convention led me to go to the meetups in Louisville.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up for the second part.
Yeah. Well, that's
it's a special con to me.
Well, that's why it's such a special thing to me too. Is because I mean I do credit it with the beginning of everything we know now. It gave me my personal start as a musician. It gave me my start of meeting some of my closest friends in life, and it was just that first taste of like, yeah, I consider these people my family, and I want to continue to be amongst them. I got to share an intimacy with strangers. Like one of my favorite memories is towards the end of the con, I stayed up and talked about all things pony related. It was me, Seth, and Dallas, of all people.
Huh.
Yeah.
We stayed. It was Saturday night. Well, technically Sunday morning, but we stayed up all night down in the lobby area, doing pretty much what we're doing right now. Just talking about Pony, what it means to us, and that just hit me like so hard with that. Not to mention, like several hours before that, we were this close to getting Matt Hill to play hide and seek with us in that hallway. That would have been amazing.
It would have. Unfortunately, he didn't.
He was super tired.
Yeah, my final words are, I'm in debt. I wouldn't change it for the world. Best $8,000+ I've ever spent in my life.
So yeah, I mean, honestly, dude, thank you very much for that, because that means everything to me. Really, really.
I'm sorry, I'm playing off an old joke that Brunson did to our friend Flanny.
Really, dude? I'm trying to have a moment here.
Wow.
But yeah, like that. It was.
Oh yeah, I gotta tell this part on Sunday.
What? What? You signing a car?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I guessed it.
Yeah, it's whenever Matt and them were leaving, we were following them out, and I get stopped by this random guy who has a black car panel to his car. He's like, hey, dude, I absolutely enjoyed the con. Thank you so much. Would you mind signing this piece of my car? And flabbergasted, I'm like, what? Are you joking? Like, am I unpranked? Is something going up or down, left or right? And he's like, no, man, I'm completely serious. So he gave me a gold-colored Sharpie. I signed my name as crappily as I usually do. I was like, here you go, man. Thank you. He's like, no, thank you. And he just dashed off to his car to put it back on there. And also, Bronyfest was the first time I played Cards Against Humanity.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
Never heard of the game before, and it's where I got to experience drunk hops for the first time. It was beautiful.
Damn it! There actually is just one last thing I wanted to say. One of my personal special moments was as far as like advertising music goes and everything. Two things. I'll make them as quick as I can. You know our buddy Retro Sax, right?
Oh yeah.
Little Asian kid that's really good on saxophone and everything. One of my favorite memories is on, I believe, Saturday afternoon, a little closer to the evening. We just spent a lot of the time. We had like a little impromptu guitar saxophone little battle that ended up getting. You remember Rev, the guy who played Discord in Epic One Time?
No.
Okay, well he was there. He was having some fun with us and everything. He's a really nice guy, but eventually we did like a little duet together of the song Awoken in the middle of the dealer's room for everybody. And that was just such a cool feeling because we had this kid videotaping us and he was so enthralled by this. It's like, once again, wow, these guys are famous. It was so awesome. And honestly, the last thing I want to say as far as Bronyfest is sitting right there on the bed.
Yeah,
my hat.
You have to tell that.
Yes, I do. For those who have seen me at a con or seen me in my vlogs, you know that
see the picture of stable condition of your OC.
There we go. Yeah, 3 Strings is wearing it too. My trademark hat. It is totally trademarked. I can't do that with a straight face. But that hat means so very, very much to me. Like, honestly, it could be a piece of crap $3 hat from a gas station. I don't care. It's priceless to me. Like, I wouldn't sell it. But I actually found it at this convention. Like, as we were leaving, as we were checking out of our hotel room on the 2nd floor, we're getting to the elevator, and when I see this hat just sitting there on this hat sitting there on a chair with a post-it note on it that just says "free hat." I'm like,
yes,
well, damn,
it would be easy.
There's another South Park reference.
Sorry, but
I know,
you set me up for that one.
But it's a post-it note that said "free hat" on it, and aside from the obvious side of that could be filled with so much lice, which it wasn't actually. I just went, well, damn, don't mind if I do. Took the hat, fit like a glove, and looking back on it, I like to think of it as like a personal reward to myself for having such a good convention. Advertising wise, I jumped up like 40 subscribers, which, I mean, for that was really good. Good con, we all had a bunch of fun, so I always thought of it as just, a good way to cap it off. And ever since then, 3 years later, it's brought me nothing but good luck. Like, there are some people we know, good friends of ours, that can't recognize me unless I have that hat on. I legitimately feel naked without it.
Yeah.
Like, I love that hat, so...
It was born here, and one day it will die here.
Don't say that. But no, it's really...
It's like the One Ring. You return to that chair, it just explodes.
Good God. The chair's not even there anymore.
You're lucky.
Right. But yeah, the hat, that was very special to me.
Yeah. But anyways, I think we've gone on long enough. I think this might be considered for our longest episode. Might be our longest episode. I don't know. I haven't really looked through the archives.
Hey, man.
If it's not, it'll be topped very soon.
Hey man, they know what they're getting themselves. We've told them several times, like, guys, buckle up because we are only halfway done.
Yeah, and you guys, you heard me being nice during this one. The next one,
Yeah.
It's during one of the darkest years of my life and darkest times.
Yeah.
Of my
Okay.
life.
So we're gonna end this with a warning, and we're gonna begin the next one with a warning. So
This is not for children. Not the super cool, edgy kids who are 12 years old or beyond.
Yeah,
I suggest if you are 18 plus, enter your own discretion because we will be tearing some people apart, but we will be changing names.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, I like to, as you guys know, I hound you a little bit about at least trying to put a filter on this. I mean, occasional slip up of, swear word and everything, that's whatever. But, we try and, put a lid on it a little bit. We ain't doing that with this one. Like
This one we kind of got a little out of control, especially me.
Well,
But
that was accident.
this will not be an accident.
the part where it came out was during a heartfelt thing.
Yeah, no,
so.
your Andrew thing. I
Yeah.
get that, and I hope those that are listening will understand that too. But with this next one, we're just gonna go ahead and let you know there is going to be a lot of swearing. I will not be holding back,
And we will be even more tired because it's almost 5 a.m.
and we're not stopping.
Yeah.
We need to get this out.
Yes.
The world must know. But yeah.
So we will see you guys for the next one. Sorry I couldn't get episode
I love
posted
episode bleh.
Saturday night like I wanted to. The hotel internet here is so bad it would have messed up with the recording, and we need to get this done here.
Yeah, well,
So tomorrow I will be mixing, rendering all that stuff, getting it ready to release all those episodes.
alright, so yeah, for those of you who can stand, some naughty language, stick around for part 2. Because,
And you like seeing me in anguish. I
because,
know that'll be funny.
because there's a lot more to this story. This was Bronyfest. We came to this hotel for 2 reasons. To remember a magical con, and to remember a nightmare of a con.
Yeah. They are two sides of the same coin.
This is going to be the nightmare. So
Yeah.
for those of you who like that stuff, stick around.
I'm JWhoof,
I'm Do the Daring Do.
And I'm Trixie.
and we will see you guys soon.
Bye.
In a couple minutes.
Bye-bye.